So in 2013, I was invited to speak at the Vatican for a conference honoring Evangelium Vitae. And I didn't know this until I had a feeling that I could meet the Pope, but I didn't know I would meet him. So I brought a couple of copies of my book, Defending Life, which was a book I authored, published in 2007, Defending the Pro-Life Position. It was published by Cambridge University Press. But I brought with me to Rome my grandmother's rosary beads. And my grandmother I'd lived with my grandma when I was in graduate school. She clearly wanted me to return to the church. She was an Italian Catholic, had met once with one of my professors and asked him, when do you think he's going to return to the Catholic Church? And it was only after she had passed away and I'd returned to the church, this professor had told me of the conversation. So in 2013, my wife and I fly to Rome. I have the rosary beads, and then the day after the conference, the priest that was in charge of it said, I want you and your wife to meet us at this pillar in St. Peter's, and there's going to be there's going to be a mass. The Pope will be officiating in St. Peter's Square, and you're going to get these special seats, and after Mass, you're going to get to meet the Holy Father, Pope Francis. So I brought with me a copy of my book, Defending Life, and in my left hand, I was holding the rosary beads that my grandmother had, and she had gotten the rosary beads when my parents had visited Rome in 2000, and they had been blessed by John Paul II. So here I was, one Francis, me, shaking the hands of another Francis, the Holy Father, holding in my hand the rosary beads that had been owned by my grandmother, Francis, and I was bringing them back to Rome. And so as I returned to Rome, metaphorically I'd returned to Rome, here I was returning to Rome literally while holding the rosary beads that she had prayed on for me. And so that was a moment of just incredible sort of mystical experience. It was one of those things that fortunately was photographed. And so on my website, there's a photograph of me shaking Francis's hand, and if you look closely, I'm holding the rosary beads.